channel. Today we have the Stribog SP9A3S. Now, all of these upgrades will work on any Stribog that I'm talking about, unless I specifically say that they don't. So keep that in mind. Also, some of them are essential for certain tasks, and some of them that I would deem essential for all Stribogs. So keep that in mind as you're going through that as some of the rules. Also, make sure you check out the Ninja and Flannel website, get on the email list, and you can actually get emails when I find cool stuff like this ahead of time before videos even come out. It's not spammy. I do it very occasionally for good stuff. So check that out in a link in the description, and check my Rumble channel for the content that won't be banned someday. So here we go, essential upgrades for the Stribog. Your lower. Now, replacing the lower is not entirely essential, and you'll see in some different upgrades later on that you can stick with your factory one and be just fine. But for me, I actually went with a lingual lower that takes factory Stribog mags, which they don't make anymore. This is the polymer version. Then they came out with an aluminum version, and now I can't seem to find it. I don't think it exists. What they do have is Lingual has an aluminum Stribog lower that takes CZ Scorpion mags, which are allegedly much better mags and much easier to find. I say allegedly, but I do believe that as well. I don't have problems with the Stribog mags, but a lot of other people claim they do, so keep that in mind. If you go away from Lingual, A3 Tactical has their own aluminum lower that also takes Scorpion mags. I really like the A3 one, and I also like A3 as a company overall. So for lowers, you can stick factory, and you'll see some options later on in this video, or you could go Lingual or A3. Cheek rest. Now, this is not going to be applicable to every Stribog, but a lot of them have these PDW collapsible braces, which I really, really like. The downside to these braces is that if I go left-handed here, you kind of have more of a chin weld rather than a cheek weld, and it's a little hard to get a repeatable cheek weld when you're coming up to get your positioning. Now, this is from SKER, which is SKER Tactical. They just came out with this. This is awesome. It's designed exactly for this collapsible brace. It goes right in here, and it works really well. On that note, I will have a promo code in the description so you can get a discount on these and a link to where you can find them. Very cool company. This has really fixed the last little annoyance that I run into with the Stribog. This is a really good part, so check them out. Make sure you use my discount code. I do not get commission from that. It's just a discount for you. So check it out. Pretty cool. Moving more forward on the Stribog, you have your charge handle. Now, the factory one is actually not terrible, but it's a little smaller and not as easy to just grab, especially in low light and stuff. This is actually from KDG, which is Kinetic Development Group. This is part of a kit that I'll show as one of the other upgrades later on, but you can buy these by themselves. This is really nice. It's much larger, and it's just kind of knobby. You can grab it really well, even in the dark. If you're not going the route of the KDG one and you want something ambi, HB Industries makes an ambi kit that sticks out both sides. Wouldn't work with my weapon light, but it actually sticks out both sides so you can use it left or right-handed, which goes with everything else on the Stribog. Mag release, safety, bolt release, everything. So charge handles, Kinetic Development Group, and HB Industries both sell them. One more charge handle to keep in mind is that they also make a folding charge handle. I do not recommend it for the S model, the 5-inch, because of the positioning. When it folds, it's actually up here, which is pretty darn close to your muzzle, especially without a muzzle device, and you'd have to grab basically all the way up to here to get to it. So if you're using the S model, I don't recommend a folding charge handle. Pretty much any other model, or if you switch to the KDG Handguard extension, then you could use it. But other than that, I would stick with the straight ones. Now your trigger. There's going to be two different routes for this. If you go to a lingual lower, you're going to be able to use AR-style triggers. I believe the 10mm and 45 Stribog use AR-style triggers from factory. I'm fairly certain. You might want to double check that one. But on this one, since it's a short firearm and I'm not going to be shooting very far with it, I go just the quickest trigger I can. So this is a Geisley S3G trigger. This thing is rocket fast, and I am a pretty big fan of it. If you do want to stick with a factory Stribog lower, you can buy the reduced spring weight spring that they sell right at HB. I think it's like $9 or $12, something like that. If you replace that, it makes the factory Stribog trigger really, really nice, and it's not a bad trigger to begin with, but if you add that, it makes it pretty much perfect. Your bolt release. Now, this isn't going to apply to everything because if you move to a new lower, which is going to take Scorpion mags, it's going to be a little bit different. However, these Stribog mags use this little plate right here. The one from factory is very, very small. Like you almost feel like you got to grab it with your fingernail a little bit. And I wasn't a huge fan. So HB Industries as well makes this one. You got to put it in. Note there's some fitment required. There's a little nipple in the middle that kind of bites into your mag. So once you put it in there, you can take the upper off and you can see where it's biting. Take a file and just take it down slowly, testing it over and over until it's reliable. And then that's a really good upgrade because otherwise you'll find yourself trying to feel for that slide release while you're shooting. And it's really nice that this one just goes and your bolt flies right away. So HB Industries bolt release. Now, not everyone's going to agree with this one because a lot of people don't want to get a tax stamp and have their name on government registry, which I totally get, but it's too late for me, so I get just all of them. I don't care anymore. And that is a suppressor. Especially the A3 Stribogs are roller delayed, and they shoot so very nice suppressed. So here I have a dedicated 9mm can. This is from JK Armament. This is their PCX 9mm suppressor. This also works for 7.62 39, 5.56, 300 blackout, all that stuff with appropriate barrel lengths. It's actually segmented, so you can make it longer or shorter, and you can take it apart to clean it. So pretty cool. This was semi-sponsored to the channel. They gave me a discount on it. There will be a review for this in the near future, so keep an eye out for that on the channel. Another universal product that's not specific to the Stribog is True Blue lubricants. Now, I started using these. These were sent to me for free, full disclosure. And I was like, sure, I'll try them out. There's a lot of oil companies. However, I started out with the suppressor syrup that you coat the inside of your baffles with on your suppressor, or just fire them from the back when your can's new. It prevents carbon from bonding to your can. You can also use this in your firearm when it's new especially, and it keeps carbon from being able to bond to your parts on the inside to keep it clean. They have that. They have ultrasonic cleaners, regular gun oil, and gun grease. This stuff, the oil topic is very boring, like the most boring thing to talk about. But this True Blue stuff is pretty sick, and you do notice in the long run, shooting in the hot, in the cold, in the rain, all that stuff, you do notice a difference with these products. They work well. So make sure you check these out as well. So once you have the suppressor, this actually works just fine. However, if you're going to get into any type of night vision shooting, you're going to want an aiming laser, or if you just want more real estate for whatever reason, the KDG, which is Kinetic Development Group, makes their Handguard extensions. This is the 6-inch. I've also had the 3-inch. These work extremely well. I am a huge fan of these. On that note, Skur Tactical, who also makes this cheek visor, they also are potentially coming out with one of these in the near future. So when you're watching this and you're going to do your shopping, check out KDG. Very cool company, and check out the Skur one as well. Look at your pros and cons and price, and you can make your own decision. A nice thing about this is this actually fits your suppressor inside of it like so. So when you mount it, you can actually still put your can underneath. Keep in mind, if you do a suppressor under handguard, the segmented ones can be a problem because when it gets hot, you got to take it off, and just your end section spin off, and your rear part's still stuck there, and you take the whole handguard off to get it off. So if you're going to do a suppressor under handguard, and you're going to take it on and off, you might want to just get a solid can or plan to just leave this there. Keep that in mind. Now this is a less exciting piece, but it's definitely essential. This would be one of the first things I put on, is a short stroke buffer from HP. You'll see here when this goes all the way back, it goes all the way back here when you're charging it. After you put this buffer in there, it does not go near as far, so your bolt travels much quicker, and it actually seems to reduce your recoil impulse a little bit just because it has that soft, squishy rubber there. Now look where the bolt comes back to. It takes about maybe an inch, 3/4 of an inch of travel off, but it just gives it that soft, squishy rubber instead of slamming steel on steel, wear and tear over time. The short stroke buffer from HB is pretty sweet. I've had this from the beginning, and I would not go without it. Safety selectors. Now, if you're going with the lowers that will accept AR parts, triggers, and safeties and such, I would definitely go with a Radian 45-degree safety. These are really, really nice, and then you can get their ambi as well. Pretty cool. If you're going factory Stribog lower, HB Industries, once again, makes a really nice kit that is also ambi. and it's much better than your factory one. Factory one is fine, but it's very flat. You kind of got to feel for it to grab it. So I would definitely go Radian with the aftermarket lower and HB with the factory lower. Now here's one I haven't actually done, but your factory iron sights, which I don't really use, but I like the fact that they exist. They make a steel replacement from HB Industries once again. They basically make most of the stuff for this. And the steel ones are really nice. I've seen them and kind of messed around with them at other people's. I don't use mine, so it doesn't matter, but if you wanted to upgrade them just to add one more little thing on here, that would do it. So that should cover pretty much an up-to-date list of everything you need to make your Stribog perfect. Make sure you drop a comment down below of anything you've found that I missed on this list, any problems you've had with any of this stuff. You guys may use things in different ways where you found issues that I have not found. So let me know down below in the comments of what experiences you've had yourself, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Farewell.